service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab. Greetings, I'm Bud Lowell, and the full AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of every CNC local news page. Two buildings at the Rochester Institute of Technology campus were closed early Wednesday morning when a gas alarm went off in a lab at the Microelectronics building. The alarm went off at about 4:45 in the morning, indicating a possible gas or hazardous materials leak. The university closed both the microelectronics and the engineering building next door. The Henrietta Fire Department and the Monroe County Hazmat Unit checked both buildings. They found no problems. The buildings reopened for students and faculty just before 8 in the morning. That's when exams were scheduled to begin, so what could have been a problem for a lot of engineering students at RIT was apparently avoided. A shooting incident in the city of Rochester has left one woman dead and two others injured. This happened late Tuesday night on York Street. Police say they were called there about 10 p.m. and arrived to find a 21-year-old woman and a 22-year-old man shot and seriously injured. Both were taken to Strong Memorial Hospital, and the woman later died there. The man is in stable condition. Police found a third victim was also at Strong. She had been driven to the hospital by a friend, and her injuries are non-life-threatening. Police say this was a drive-by. The victims were standing in the front yard of a house when, according to witnesses, a car drove past and someone opened fire. Police spent the night processing the crime scene and gathering evidence about this incident. They don't have any suspects yet. They're asking anyone with information to call 911. There was an unrelated shooting also Tuesday night, also on the west side, this one in the Lyle Otis area on Murray Street. Police say a man was shot in a house and taken to Strong with serious injuries, and they have not released any more information on that. If your commute takes you into the city of Rochester by the eastbound Interloop exit, it's time to change routes. The exit ramp bridge is now closed until sometime in September. This is the right-hand exit off eastbound 490 near the Douglas Anthony Bridge that connects with Monroe Avenue and the east side of downtown. Until the bridge is back in service, you can't get off 490 eastbound to the loop or on to 490 from the loop at that location. It also shuts off the connection from the Interloop to South Clinton Avenue. There'll be a construction reprieve for motorists trying to get in and out of Bushnell's Basin. The New York State DOT is postponing start of the bridge construction on the ramp that links 490 with Route 96 at Bushnell's Basin there in Parenton. The bridge carrying the ramp was supposed to close on Monday for demolition and reconstruction. It is now postponed until the 28th. Construction is expected to take 4 months. They still think they'll have it done in September. Governor Andrew Cuomo says the state will set up a financial restructuring board to help upstate cities and other local governments deal with the sort of built-in financial problems that Rochester Mayor Tom Richards was talking about during his State of the City speech last week. The mayor said then that Rochester has lost its industrial base, a third of its population, and the traditional revenue sources that paid for its schools and services. Well, Governor Cuomo said those issues are making it impossible for all the upstate cities to do business as they've done it in the past. So the restructuring board would be a step short of putting a financial control board in place, as the city of Buffalo had to do. Any local government could ask for the board's help and have a say along with the board in developing its restructuring plan. Public employee unions would also be expected to take part. The board would basically help those governments make some very tough choices about what services they actually need to offer, what they could consolidate or get rid of, and how to realistically pay for all of them. And the governor said the state's approach till now has been to throw more revenue-sharing aid at cities each year, with the result that Rochester now gets 18% of its budget directly from the state and Buffalo more than a third. He said that is not getting at the root of the problem, and it just can't continue. We'd let you hear what he had to say, but the audio from the news conference came in very poor. Cuomo suggested recovery plans would have to include merging services, consolidating departments, possibly fewer elected officials, and other cost-cutting measures. The Rochester City Council adopted a pilot program Tuesday night that will allow food trucks to operate downtown beginning June 1st. Councilwoman Elaine Spall cast the only nay vote against the plan, which was generally supported by the owners and operators of the various food trucks. There are about 24 of them operating in Rochester. The pilot program sets parking spaces aside for them at State Street and Maurice Silver Way near Kodak, Andrews and Front Street near the Genesee River, and Broad Street and South Avenue. The operators will pay $750 to get a guaranteed spot for 7 months. It is first come, first served. After that, the plan will be evaluated and it may be amended or extended. The food truck owners are hoping to see that. While they're happy that the city is moving forward with the policy, they're less happy that only 6 of the 25 trucks operating in the city will be able to take part. They also say they're being asked to pay $750 for half a year for the same permit that food cart vendors get for an entire year. They hope to be involved in the postmortem discussion. Special honors went out from the Monroe County Legislature last night, and County Executive Maggie Brooks, DeGrease Police Officer John Ritter, as well as West Webster firefighters Joseph Hofstetter and Ted Scardino. All three were honored by Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks and the county legislature in a special ceremony before Tuesday night's legislature meeting. Hofstetter and Scardino survived the shootings in the Christmas Eve attack on the West Webster Fire Department, and Officer Ritter blocked traffic, although his truck was hit by gunfire and shrapnel, and that kept the following responders out of the gunman's field of fire. Brooks said all local first responders are being recognized as heroes each and every day. Word also came from Washington that Webster Police Lieutenant Michael Ciparini's name will be engraved on the wall of the National Police Memorial, which honors police killed in the line of duty. Lieutenant Ciparini was serving as one of the volunteer West Webster firefighters when he was shot to death during that Christmas Eve ambush. Republicans in the county legislature have a new caucus leader, by the way. Legislator Steve Tucciarello was named the new majority leader Tuesday, taking over from Anthony Daniele. Daniele said he needed to turn the job over to someone else because of the growing demands of his family business. The U.S. Attorney for Western New York says a Rochester man pleaded guilty in federal court this week to a series of charges related to a fake debt collection scam. U.S. Attorney William Hochul says 45-year-old Kenneth Griffin conspired to commit mail and wire fraud and engaged in money laundering. Griffin ran a temp agency under various names, which he used to create false invoices and other documents indicating that he was owed money by various clients. He then sold those papers to debt collection agencies as uncollected debts. By the time the collection agency figured out they had been scammed, Griffin would be already operating under a different name, scamming another finance company. He took about $500,000 through this scheme. His enterprise has now earned him something else, a maximum of 20 years in prison and a $500,000 fine. To the left of the player window are links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page, links that you can use. Post news information directly to us. The next news is as it happens. Updates are as necessary. And I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.